A long time ago, I had did a video discussing about this particular handheld, and this is a Windows-based handheld, and it's been out for quite a long time. I guess maybe like a year or so, maybe I don't know how long. But at the same time, at that point in time, I was debating on if I wanted to get to jump on this or not. But I had two other handhelds that I was really just a big fan of, and that was the Rock Ally and the Legion Go. So I just decided to pass this one up. But at this point, I found this one on clearance. This is the MSI Claw. They're just the first one. I noticed they made another one, but I guess because it was like a little bit cheaper, I just wanted to just kind of peep it out for myself. And I'm not gonna sit there and go through this whole performance thing and go through all this other stuff, because this thing has been talked about for a while, and I hear that it has like low reviews on it because of certain things. So I'm not gonna dig into that. My thing is like, when I get something, there's a difference between other people experiences and then that's just my experience, because I'm just chilling, and then if one thing doesn't work, then I'll just do something else, but I'm still going to be enjoying the device for the way it is and just go from there. So at this point, before I even go anywhere, I'm just going to unbox this thing really fast. Just cut this thing open. In our case, we want everything to work. We want to throw so many things on these handheld, but my question is you're going to play every single game that you put up on a handheld? And I'm a type person, sometimes I just base a handheld, and I base a handheld off of something that I want to go put up on there at least, or install in a lot of cases, and I just go with that, because I mean, I like to sit back and actually play a game, and if something don't work on one thing, then I'll go to the next. It's fine with me. I'm pretty much as okay with it. My whole thing is just to have an enjoyable moment experiencing these handhelds, because it's technology. Obviously it's still being sold, obviously people are still jumping on it in some cases. My question is have you jumped on it? Have you peeped it out, or do you have it? I mean, and have you figured out ways of making it just kind of just cool for you as when you jumped on it? And did you get it on clearance? You know what I mean? Because hey, I'm just gonna go ahead and pop this thing and set this thing up and just see what's going on. I'm not gonna throw a whole bunch of stuff on it, but what is going on, you guys? Your boy Famous Kid Video Game Entertainment. And before we go any further, make sure you hit the like, subscribe button. Click like, subscribing. It's always a big help. Fast forward on this. I spent a week on and off doing updates and setup. I feel like I've not completely got it the way I want, but so far I can dig it. I have enough to give a few tips though on some cool experience without getting too technical, in case you decide to pick this up and you're not too tech savvy, like having a bro moment, because you don't care about all the extras, just want to play some games, you feel me? But let me ask you a question. What did you get it for? And let's put those emulations to the side for a second, okay? All right, I'm gonna move it out the way for a bit. You got two great outlets, and that's Steam and Xbox, like Game Pass and stuff. Now I know there's all the other ones like GOG, Epic Games, GeForce Now, and countless others if I can just keep going with it. And yes, you can add all that, but I'm just gonna focus on the two big ones, and this is just my opinion. Okay, let me pause right here. I'm gonna go ahead and plug this thing up to a capture device so we can really dig into this. And this is where I'm gonna get to, like, this is basically tip 0. The best thing to do is have like a monitor or TV or something like that with a keyboard and mouse. I even got I use like this combination with the keyboard and the little mouse like connected to it. I'll leave a link in the description on the one I use, and it's just way more easier, because when you're setting something up, something like this, you're going to be needing something like a hub or something like that. You know, I'll leave links for that if you guys need to pick yourself up one. All right, now you're fully updated and ready. Remember, these launchers be having updates. Make sure to check them before moving forward. Like, you know, those launchers that they have, like if you went to like Armory Crate and stuff like that, and make sure that you do the updates in those apps, because most of the time, sometimes it'd be like BIOS updates. Tip 1, before you install, let's just hang on to Windows for a bit, okay? Go to your settings and look for apps. I'm not gonna show it because I already did it, but what you gotta do, you gotta uninstall all the unnecessary stuff that's not needed. Now, if it looks important, make sure you just leave it. But I found so many unnecessary apps from LinkedIn, Solitaire, McAfee, Copilot 365, and other stuff that is like basically in stock on these handhelds, especially these Windows handhelds. Now, that's a choice choice if you want to keep them or not. It's up to you. These, and remember, all these are just tips. Tip 2, if you got your SD card to expand your storage, format it on the device itself. I usually like to use a NTFS file system. You can use extra fat if you want. It's your choice, it's your preference. Just make sure to name it something that's easy to find. And most of the time, I like to just put the how many gigs is on it. So if there's so even when you say like 32, it'll say like 28 gigs or something like that. 28, 27 gigs that it has on there, like 27.5. And sometimes I'll put that on there. That way I know how much I have. Third, this is just optional, okay? But I do recommend it if you want emulators down the line, especially RPCS3. And without this, it will not work. And that is Microsoft Visual C++ redistribute. Just search Google and just look it up. But you're definitely gonna need that just in case. Just get that out the way and you're good, okay? Fourth, now it's time to get your Steam on deck on your device. And not Steam Deck, that's just slang for hooking up your Steam, like sign in and all that good stuff. As well as your Xbox if you got Game Pass. And that's automatically like stock, like installing it. You might just have to do some updates. And that's just on Windows, so all you gotta do is just sign in. But I'm just gonna keep focusing on Steam at the moment. Now I know these handhelds you can use Bazite, Steam OS, and you could just bypass all this stuff. And you're correct, and I respect that. But this is for those who just don't want to deal with all that, okay? Let's do this. Let's do this next one. Get in your Windows, type in Task Manager, go to your startup apps and make sure Steam is enabled. That means that as soon as you turn it on, Steam is going to come in. And if the launcher is enabled, disable it. Now you could do vice versa if you want to. That's your choice. I'm just saying that to me, just to have that experience as soon as you turn it on, you can go right to Steam, okay? All right. Also, if you don't see the launcher, go to your launcher settings, general settings, and make sure default startup is unchecked, okay? That's just in case, okay? Because sometimes you got to go into the launcher and make sure that the startup is like it's turned off. So you got to go to, so you got to look through that for a bit, okay? Exit out your launcher and hop back into Steam. Hit the Steam word at the top, settings, interface, then toggle on start Steam in big picture mode. If you got everything right, it should look like this. Now wait a minute, but what if you just want to go on the Xbox and get to your gamepad? All right, just use the touch screen at the bottom and exit out of Steam, okay? You can exit out of big picture mode, or you can just exit out of Steam completely, okay? Push the launch button in your launcher, because if you have a launcher, chances are Xbox is sitting up in there, okay? Then go to Xbox, your games you install is ready to go or play in the cloud. You're ready to play some games. All right, final tip. Now maybe you might just want to add a tiny bit of emulation, okay? And I'm going to use RPCS3 for example. Install it, get your game set up. I'm not going to go through all that whole thing, okay? Make a desktop shortcut. Now go back to your Steam. If your Steam is in big picture mode, exit out of big picture mode. Go to your games and add a non-Steam game to library and add your RPCS3. Now, adding all the artwork, thumbnails, you just got to search on Google about all that. But overall, when you hop back in big picture, the emulator is hanging right there for you. And you know what? That's it. All right, before I get going, I just want to show you a game that I'm pretty hooked on this handheld with. I own the original, but I'm loving playing this on handheld. Now, this is just a sample. Check it out. So there you have it. Usually I don't really like to say this is called like a how-to video or really give out tutorials, but in this case right here, this is just tips just in case it's your first time and you really want to get you want to start getting into Windows based handhelds. You're just like, how do I get started? How do I set these things up? How do I just get to the games? I just want to turn it on and get to the games. This is just a way to be able to do that. And I hope that I helped you out with these tips and it made it more easier for you in understanding. And even down the line, if say for instance you want to go ahead upgrade to where you want to get and do all the fancy stuff like Steam OS and stuff like that, that's awesome. This is just for folks who just kind of intimidated by just like, man, these Windows based handhelds can get pretty complicated. Now you could just go easy and just get a Steam Deck and just get started and that's it. But what if you're able to get like a MSI Claw like this and you get it for cheap and you just want to just get started, or you're able to catch maybe a clearance for the ROG Ally. These are just like kind of tips to get you going, and then that way you can go ahead and get started and you can get to your games and have some fun. Let me know in the comments, do you start setting that up and you're saying, hey, I want to kind of tamper around with emulation and stuff like that, then I do have other videos and I'll be making more with some of the emulation and how to set things up as you get down the road. All right, you guys, if you guys made it this far, I truly appreciate it, and please let me know if this all helped you out. I appreciate the comments, you guys. All right, and from gamer to gamer, thanks for watching.